So we got Clark Withers with Media Procast. Clark, tell me about Media Procast.
What's going on, man? Well, Media Procast is a company that we developed here a couple of years ago to be able to give small to mid-sized churches podcasting capabilities. We basically developed the circumstance off of our own church plant that I'm part of here in Fredericksburg, where we have, over the past 5 years, grown to close to 1,500 people.
Okay, so you graduated from Liberty in 2007, am I correct?
Correct.
And you graduated during a recession that was sort of creeping in. Now, were you thinking, hey, could I do this? Were you kind of hesitant about this? Or you had a, anxious spirit, say, hey, I don't care if it's 2007, I'm going to start this. But actually, you started in 2008 or 2009, wasn't it?
Well, we started developing the idea and that kind of thing in late 2007. It started with just a couple of conversations with me and one of my other tech people at LifePoint, just saying, this is a great system that we have here. How could we take this and make it standardized enough to be able to fit church needs across the country? And from that point, we spent about 2 years developing the product, developing how we went about the systems so that it would be standardized, because every church is going to be a little different in their capabilities. What we had to do was be flexible enough to expand, be flexible enough to fit other churches, yet be rigid enough and be standardized enough to expand across a wide gamut of churches.
Okay. We'll just break it down here. Basically, what you do is record podcasts for churches that have no idea how to use a recorder, who have no idea how to use Microsoft Windows. It's for churches that have no idea. So you are like the guy who comes in, hey guys, we're gonna make you have a presence on iTunes on a podcast, right?
Yeah, I mean the best situation for us is a church that 9 churches out of 10 are recording podcasts, or they're recording some form of their service, whether it be a podcast or, most likely with older churches, they're going to be recording to cassette tape or to CD, and they end up burning that onto CD and throwing it in a closet somewhere. What we do is utilize the audio and be able to give them an online presence, unlike what they could have done on their own. We take it and we mix it down, get it as close to broadcast quality as possible, and then build an archive website using the sermons that they send us, as well as host it to iTunes and be able to do all of the back end work that creates their online presence.
Now, if you had to go back to your college days and looking back, if you were a college student, looking forward actually, what would you tell yourself? You'll be like, wow, that's a good business idea. Or it'll be like, I'll never do that. What was your mentality at Liberty?
My mentality at Liberty was basically that, the whole concept of marketing. My major was marketing, and the whole concept of marketing over the past 10 years or so has shifted from being advertising and utilizing advertising to get a product out there to utilizing the marketing and the development of the product so that you create great products for people. Rather than taking a product and throwing it over to the marketing department and we advertise it, now what's going on is the marketing department is one of the first elements in the development of a product so that it can reach their target audience. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And if you had to pick one teacher from Liberty that pretty much inspired you, it doesn't have to be a communication or anybody in your major, who would you say?
Well, like I said, my major was marketing, so I was in the School of Business dealing with Professor Brunson and Professor Young and the other Professor Young. Hands down, the teacher that ended up really pushing me in ways that I hadn't even thought about was George Young. He always had a heart for for students thinking outside the box, but also taking a look at the viability in a business sense of ideas.
What would you tell a college student at Liberty University, a Liberty University student, once he graduates? What do you recommend?
Once you graduate, I mean, the biggest thing you got to remember is never stop learning. Once you get that job, just don't let yourself settle there. Reach outside the box, take hold of your dreams, and kind of make sure you're always challenging yourself to take the next steps, to look at the other opportunities that are out there, because just seeing the dreams that people have and just seeing the opportunities that people get a hold of when you open your eyes is incredible.
Entrepreneurship, is it for everybody?
No, I think this world is really made with two different kinds of people. You have leaders and you have managers. Now, I think anyone can be an entrepreneur. In the way that today's economic situation functions as a whole, I think we all need to, especially in the entrepreneur type role, be focusing on creating teams of people that can get things done rather than being one person that goes out there and does something.
Something that I've learned at Liberty, which I really kind of reflect back, is Jerry Falwell. He really had a vision for us to go beyond our measures, and I think that encouraged me at least, and I believe it yourself as well.
Absolutely.
What is one thing that you learned from Jerry Falwell that you really take? It could be moral majority. It could be something in politics, or it could be having a huge goal in life.
Jerry Falwell had two comments that he said more often than not, and any Liberty student that was around when he was around knows both of them. One was, what's your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal? And I think we all need one of those because we need that driving force that pushes us. Media Procast isn't my BHAG. It's just one of my goals within the realm of what I want to be able to do as a person. With Media Procast, I also have the leadership podcast that I do that's sponsored by Media Procast. And then I've got other projects on the side that are starting to take shape and starting to take form. But they all kind of encompass my BHAG, which is to help Christian leaders nationwide really reach the next levels in their leadership. So, go ahead.
Which is basically your future goal right now, correct?
Yeah, that's my long-term goal. That's where I want to be.
Well, I appreciate having Clark Withers. How may the people contact you?
Hey, you can definitely go to our website at MediaProcast.com. If you go to morethanclark.com, you'll see my blog. There's contact pages on both of those. You can send me an email at clark@morethanclark.com. I challenge you to check out the blog, check out the leadership podcast, which should actually be posting to iTunes any day now. So you should be able to go to iTunes and just search the Procast, and you'll be able to find it right there on iTunes. Subscribe to it, check us out, and give us a call.
And your Twitter handle is?
My Twitter handle is Clark Withers, ClarkWithers.
The alumni are working these days, and Clark Withers is one of them. Thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you, sir.